Are you tired of being weighed down? Have you fallen asleep on your health? This is your wake up call with my dad, Keith, my husband, Kyle, and me, Ashley.
Good morning, everyone. It is day 170, and this is your wake up call. It is Tuesday, which means it's time for Taste Tuesday. So, what's on the menu for today?
I thought we would take a few minutes this morning to talk about the benefits of meal planning and meal prepping. So I'll share a few things that I do, but before that, do y'all have anything you'd like to say about meal planning or meal prepping?
Well, it's something you need to do, I think.
Yeah.
From time to time.
For sure.
Certain time periods in the last few years, we've got in the habit of doing everything on Sunday.
Right.
For the week. We don't do as much of that as we should, but that's one of the tactics that we've used.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, I think you got to have some kind of preparation, or you're going to end up getting off track.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think meal prep's important. It keeps you from kind of defaulting to a bad setting when maybe time is tight or you're not feeling 100%. You can capitalize on the time that you do feel good, that you are able to, plan and prepare ahead of time, so that when you're heading out the door to work, you can grab that meal out of, the fridge, and that'll keep you from going to the vending machines at work or, local business.
Yeah. It'll keep you from going to Taco Bell, which is our go-to if we are really
out and about,
short on
or
time.
pressed for time. Yeah.
It's healthy. You can get a meatless meal at Taco Bell, but it is not healthy for you in the least. So that is something that we end up doing too often. So I've done different things over the years, and like Dad said, there have been times when I've prepped a lot of things on Sunday before. I've even gone as far as packing a lunch for us both on Sundays. I did that some when I was still working 5 days a week, and I was working an hour away. So I remember packing 10 salads and whatever else it was that I decided we were going to have with him. So there's a lot of different ways to go about that, and there have been times where on Sundays or Mondays or even Saturdays sometimes I'll cook a huge pot of beans, and then we'll draw from that all week for different kinds of recipes. You can just eat the beans, or you can turn it into chili or soup or whatever it is. And I've talked about the Instant Pot so many times, but that's just another way that tool comes in handy. You can make a really awesome pot of beans from dry in an hour or less. And, just when you walk in the door and you've got other things to do, just dump that in the Instant Pot and it cooks while you can get other things done. We've also talked about just going ahead and chopping up a big salad and leaving it in the fridge. Whenever you're hungry, you can go in there and dip out some salad. There have been days where I have roasted or baked like a whole pan of potatoes early in the week. Sometimes sweet potatoes, sometimes regular potatoes, and I just put those in the fridge. And so that those 3 items right there, you can take in a lot of different directions. If you have a salad in the fridge, if you have a big bowl of beans in the fridge, if you have potatoes in the fridge, that's a ready meal. You just pull those things out, scoop them out, warm them up, and there you have it. I do the same thing with rice sometimes, although I really prefer freshly cooked rice because sometimes the texture of it isn't quite right after being in the fridge for a while. It gets really dried out and gross.
Right.
Although, you can, if you make rice in advance, a trick to get it a little bit more palatable after a few days is you can, put a little bit of water in it before you microwave it, and then it kind of re-steams itself. So that helps a little bit. It's still not great, but that's kind of a little trick I'll use sometimes. But the main way that I meal plan, even if I don't prep ingredients per se, several months ago, I bought a small little whiteboard, and I stuck it to our fridge. And we usually do most of our grocery shopping on Saturdays. Sometimes I'll do it, on a random day in the middle of the week while Kyle's at work. It just depends on the week. But I try to buy things that are on sale. I try to buy things that are in season, especially during the summer, during farmers market days, So sometimes I will buy what looks good and what's on sale and what's in season without a clear plan in my head. And then I'll get home and put everything away, and I'll think about what I've purchased, and I plan a menu based on that. So some people plan their whole menu, and there's nothing wrong with this, and they go to the grocery store or whatever, and they buy all the ingredients, and there it is. But I kind of do it a little different. And then I'll list all the options that I can make out of the things that I've got. And I always try to keep my staples in my pantry. I try to always have dry rice and dry beans and all those things you can build meals out of easily. Oatmeal, all that good stuff. Then I write all these options on the board, and I'm not one of those people that does like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday thing, because I'm still human, and some days I might come home and prefer to have soup over bean burger or whatever it is, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So,
or you come home and you're tired, and one item is easier to make than another.
Yes, correct.
So you're more prone to follow the plan because you have an item on there that's easier, right?
Yes. That's a good point. On the days that I don't go to work, I usually make the meals that take a little more time because I have more time. So, when I make a dinner, I'll look on that board, decide, okay, what can I make out of these ingredients? All right, that sounds good. I'll cross it off, and I'll make the meal. And that also helps me keep track of what ingredients I have left, what have I used, what haven't I used, and it kind of takes the thinking out of it too when you look at your board and you've got 5 different meals left, and that's what you have to choose from. That's one way to go about it, and so I thought I'd share that this morning.
Yeah, I mean, I think planning is important. An ounce of prevention or an ounce of planning is worth a pound of cure. Making a plan on the front end helps you kind of stick to it and follow it a lot easier. especially if it's clear and followable. And one of the good things is they're implementing some stuff that they found for research, leads to people sticking to plans is you're writing that plan down. You're making a clear written representation of it, which means you're more likely to follow it. So I think there's
something that's always stuck in my brain. Several years ago, I watched this family on YouTube who were plant-based, and they had older children, like in high school. A few of them were in college. They all were still living home, and they all had these really crazy schedules with all kinds of things to do. And I don't know who it was, but it seemed like in a lot of videos they had, like, this is one of the first times I'd ever seen an Instant Pot. So this was a few years ago. And they had like a couple Instant Pots, they had like a rice cooker and, all this other stuff. And they were lined up on the counter. And it seemed like every video, like, one of the cookers had potatoes in it, one of the cookers had beans in it, one had rice, and then one may have vegetables in it. And they always had like frozen vegetables in the freezer. And so this family who was super busy, whenever they came in the house and were hungry, all that stuff was there, and they would just kind of build their own little meals at different times because they didn't have time to eat together. And that's just a really simple thing. I don't know how many times I've had a fridge full of produce, and because I was busy or I didn't feel good and I didn't plan and I didn't prep, those vegetables just went bad.
Yeah.
And that's shameful, but that's happened a lot. Not so much in the last year or so, but I mean, in the past, and that's just because I didn't plan it. I didn't prep it. I made it seem harder than it actually is. But when it comes down to it, you can eat as simply as you want to. You can eat a couple baked potatoes and some lettuce. I mean, you don't have to make these huge, extravagant meals. Just eat simply and prepare and know what you have in your refrigerator, and try not to go to Taco Bell.
Agreed.
All right, everybody. This has been Tasty Tuesday. Thank you for listening. I hope that you'll subscribe, and don't forget to follow us at Our Heavy House on social media, and you can follow my Instagram at My Plant Food Diary. As I mentioned yesterday, I've started posting my food again. I posted 2 meals yesterday, so I'm trying to get back in the habit of that. So that I hope that you'll follow. And again, thanks for listening. Have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow with What's That Wednesday.